everyone. Hope you're doing great. Recently, Pro developer Michael joined us on the Scrimba livestream, and we shared all our favourite web dev tips and tricks about VSCode, cheat sheets, design, and more. Now, we've condensed that down into 10 of our favourite tips for you to enjoy and hopefully learn from. So let's get into it. The first one I found on Instagram, actually, but I'll let you probably explain it a bit more.
Sure.
It's an array methods cheat sheet, which explains array methods through the medium of emoji fruits.
Wow. I mean, yeah, that's quite interesting. Well, yeah, so you have like concat and stuff. Yeah, there's normally you can kind of see on Twitter and Instagram a lot of these go around. So yeah, to be fair, like that's a very good way to learn it. And if it's also written in a tweet, you can just copy paste it into your dev console. So they usually show up straight away. So yeah, these look pretty good. So there is filter.
I like this. So if you filter the fruits array with this, it just shows you this.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
Const only bananas.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, pretty good. And also, for each
explained.
Yeah, fine.
And then it's console logging each fruit. And some of them are vegetables, actually, to be fair to the veg out there. Yeah. So it's got them all. And probably the easiest thing to do will be for me to share the entire slideshow, which I will do later. And everything we share will be in the descriptions later on. But,
nice.
I didn't have time to do it beforehand. But never mind. Yes. So if you want to learn array methods, you can do it with these wonderful fruits, which I thought it was good anyway.
It's pretty good.
Less than impressed. But
no, I've just seen them before, so yeah, it's pretty good. I suppose it's like one of those cheat sheets that you would just keep somewhere if you struggle a little bit. Or you just have it in your favorites tab or something and you're like, well, I need to reverse an array somehow. So what's the syntax again? You can just look it up and there you go. I mean, to be fair, it's pretty straightforward with reverse. You just call it. But for example, map or reduce, these are normal, like, the staples of array methods like filter, map, and reduce. So, yeah.
I like this one. Pushing kiwis to the fruits array. That's fun. Yeah. The next thing I've got is another cheat sheet.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, Flexbox. Yeah, I know nothing about that.
So, cheat sheet. So, when you first meet Flexbox, you may have a problem, as I did, of knowing where to put which properties, because some of them go on the parent and some of them go on the children, and it can be quite baffling. And in my view, it's not always necessarily intuitive. Luckily, quite early on, I came across this Flexbox cheat sheet. So now it's very easy for me to see whether the property needs to go on the parent or indeed if it should go on the child. And the other good thing about it is, for example, flex direction. It shows you all the options here. So you can figure out which one you need, or flex wrap. Do you want no wrap, or wrap reverse, and so on. So I use this basically every time I use Flexbox. I don't really think I could manage without it. And then, like this one, justify content. It's showing you visually what they all mean. Because really, I suppose space between and space around. If you didn't have this diagram, I think it would be quite difficult to know what the difference is. And it's all here. So that's
yeah, definitely. And I find normally with like CSS syntax in general is that it's pretty inconsistent. Like, for example, it says flex start and flex end, but not flex center.
Yeah.
And also, I suppose that's a very like UK centric thing, but spelling of center always trips me up. I always misspell it British way. And then after debugging it and not understanding why it doesn't work, I realized I just misspelled it.
Yeah. It is good for debugging, actually. You're right. Things like that. So that's cool. Caffeinated Pixel says they also have one for CSS Grid. They do indeed. Yes. Which brings me nicely on to my next one, which is not the grid cheat sheet. No, it is a grid layout generator. So if you find grid baffling, who doesn't? You can use this. We'll put it here. To help you along the way. And I will now demonstrate how it works. So I'm going to call this part the header and save that. And this part's going to be my main. So I'm going to have my aside. So that's going to be my footer. And then here it has generated the HTML and the CSS that you need to use it, which I will now demonstrate in a scrim.
Whoa.
Yes, I know, exciting.
This is like literally magical.
So there we go. There's my HTML, automatically, well not automatically, but very easily put in. Then I'm going to put in a few little paragraphs. While I'm here, I'll fill in the content for my page. So obviously it's going to be a cat website, and then my main is going to be I love cats, and then my side is going to be I also love rabbits, and of course it's copywritten. All good. So that's that, and now I've got my CSS ready to roll. Save that. Copied it wrong. Let's try that again.
So you can just hit the copy.
So I can.
Yeah.
I always miss those. There we go.
Whoa.
Yeah, so you can see it's already generating the grid, but obviously that's not quite what we want. So we're going to go in and add some background color. What color should we have? Let's have light blue for the header, light coral for the main, light, you can see a theme emerging here, green for my side, and light golden or yellow. How awesome is that? So then, if I wanted to, which I do, I could change my font. What can I have? 2M Arial. Oh, maybe not 2M. 1.5 Rem Arial. Sans serif. And there we have it. A very simple layout with grid. So that's my tip there. Have I shared it?
Yeah.
Yes, I have. Good. And if you're wondering, when putting in your box shadow or your grid or your Flexbox, is this actually going to show up across browsers? Well, you can just check out, can I use?
Oh, look at kind of like self-explanatory.
Yeah. So all you do is, well, let's go with grid. You type in the property you want to use or technology.
Yeah.
And it shows you which browsers are okay with it and which are not. And usually IE is red. And most other things are green.
Yeah.
Flexbox. Yeah. So that's really handy for knowing that your designs are going to look cool across all different browsers. Or handy for thinking, oh, well, people on IE won't see it, but that's life. So, yeah.
Yeah, neat. That is really good. Yeah, that's a pretty good one. I used to use, can I use pretty much daily.
Really?
Yeah.
So, yeah. So moving on to VS Code.
Oh, yeah.
We've chosen a few tips on VS Code. Do you actually use VS Code, or do you use another?
I use a handful of editors, but yeah, normally VS Code is my default go-to if I need to update the config or I need to write quick snippets. If it's JavaScript, then it's definitely VS Code. In my last job, I used to write a lot of C#, so I used to use an editor called Rider.
Okay.
But
that reminds me of Knight Rider.
It does have that vibe, I guess. But yeah, it's VS Code is pretty much the default browser that I nowadays go to. Yeah.
Yeah. And Cadmus says, is there somewhere for the links where these generators are? All the links will be in the description box very soon, probably tomorrow. But for the moment, they're in the chat. So yes.
Cool.
So the first one is a cheat sheet, which if you go to VS Code without anything open.
Are you sharing that screen?
No, I'm closing it first.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Here we go.
Nice.
This is VS Code with nothing, no folders open or anything. You will see printable keyboard cheat sheet, and that's exactly what this is.
Right.
You could also get it from this link.
Yeah. Well, because you're on Mac, you're obviously sharing the Mac one. But if you guys are on Windows, then whenever you click on that printable shortcuts, it will give you Windows or whatever system you're on.
Yeah. So I have actually printed it out. It's right here next to my desk and highlighted the ones that I find most useful. So yeah, I would highly recommend doing that.
Yeah, nice. Nice. Yeah, I should do that too. Yeah, good one.
Yeah, it is good.
It's a good one.
Totally. So the next one is yours, Michael. And
is it?
Live server.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So I do like using live server quite often, and well, actually, what we can do is I suppose we can just download the Scrim or something.
To do what with? Do you need a folder?
Just kind of show what you can do with live server, but
you can open the gardening blog one if you want.
Cool. Where is it?
There.
Right. Yeah. Your gardening blog. So you were working on this on a blog of yours, and usually live server is basically over here. You have extensions, and then you can just type live server, and it should show up. You already have it installed, so. It's basically an extension over here, so you just install it. And what you can do with that is, if you have, for example, your index.html, you will have this button at the very bottom of the screen that says Go Live. And when you click it, it will basically show your index.html. And so there you go. Here's some add-in finesse with Bay and all that gardening stuff. And what's really neat about it is that you don't have to open the file in your Chrome again. So what you can do is, for example, if I change this to
Leanne's stupid gardening blog, which no one cares about.
No, Leanne's gardening blog. There you go. It has just updated, so you just save the file and it's been updated for you. So yeah, kind of normally, live server is pretty much a lifesaver.
Yeah, it just makes it so much easier when you make changes, because as soon as you hit Control S or you save it, the changes basically automatically reloads the page, so you don't have to then go and reload in the browser, which is a bore. Yeah,
it's kind of like, I do realize that it's a bit of a beginner's tip, but sometimes, like I know from my career, I would go for years. And then someone tells me something very fundamental, and I'm like, oh, how come I've never known about it? So there you go. Hopefully, some of you will have that moment. You will learn about live server straight away.
Yeah. Philippe. Oops, that's the wrong person. Sorry. Philippe says you can use Alt plus L plus O. Oh, what, to live reload? Really?
I don't know. Is that? I think that's probably a shortcut for. I think that's a shortcut for getting your shortcuts.
Oh. Hold on. Wait. Oh, Alt-LO. Imagine if it shut down the computer or something.
But then, is that a Mac one? Or...
I don't know. It's a mystery. It might be on the cheat sheet, but there's so many here that haven't got time to have a look.
Yeah.
But yeah. Sounds lovely.
That plugin on VSCode.
Yeah.
Says,
is it? Yeah.
Yes.
It's an extension. Yeah.
Correct.
And I should say as well that they are very easy to install. When you say install it, it sounds like it's going to be a complete pain, but it's literally a case of pressing a button, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, there you go. Felipe says, instead of pressing the like button. Yeah, there you go. Cool.
Interesting.
Alt-LO. Well, see, there you go. I didn't know that.
Yeah. We're learning as well. That is good.
Cool. Nice one. Thank you.
Awesome. I now want to talk a little bit about DevTools. Because I feel that DevTools is something that's really overlooked when people are learning to code.
Yeah. Yeah, most definitely.
Because for me, I first kind of really learned about it on the job. I don't know about you.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. I think when I started, there was like a little blog post about, do DevTools, you can run a console if you hit F12. That's pretty much it.
Which I will now do. So here are DevTools.
Cool.
So when you're developing, if you want to know what your site looks like on a different device, there is a little button here, Toggle Device Toolbar, which you can hit. And then you can choose from a range of different phones and other devices as well. So let's say I want to know what Scrimba looks like on a Galaxy Fold. I will never buy a Galaxy Fold. So the only way for me to know is like this. I don't know. I don't know what a Galaxy Fold actually looks like.
I have no idea.
This isn't what I was expecting. I thought it was going to be like two screens next to each other. So
I don't even know.
Rather disappointing. Okay, let's check out, the iPhone. Ooh, very nice. So that is very handy when you're developing. You can figure out if it looks good or if it looks disastrous. We could actually watch ourselves in this. But we won't, because I think the computer might blow up.
Quick tip, if you toggle on that, on this list and you hit edit, you can actually choose from
even more. Wow.
way more devices. It's like iPad mini, BlackBerry Z30. I have no idea what any of that is.
How do you actually get it to?
Yeah, that's it. That's it. It's there.
From here.
Yeah. So that's. I don't know what it looks like.
Kindle Fire.
Yeah, there you go. And then if you hit, you can also change your orientation with this one. So now it's like the horizontal. There you go. And then obviously throttling is like, this basically refers to speed of your mobile connection. So for example, how quick will it load if I have low-end mobile connection or mid-tier? Or what if I'm offline and that kind of stuff? And then you will see how your website behaves. So.
Let's have a look at, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't do this. Scrimba on low-end mobile.
There you are.
Interesting. The footer loads first.
So there you are. Although I have said that low-end mobile refers to your connection speed, but I'm not sure if it's just the connection speed or also hardware speed. So yeah, don't quote me on that.
Shortcuts.
There you go. And then also shortcuts.
Location. Wow. Does that actually work? How's that doing that then?
No idea, but I don't know how it works but you can basically work out, location would change, for example, how long would the ping be from a particular location? It's not speed or anything. It's basically just latency from that location to your server and then back.
Wow. How do you actually use it? So I'm clicking it, it's not doing anything.
I think that should just do it.
Oh, this is it.
Yeah.
Let's see. This is loading.
Oh yeah, it would, yeah, because I think location doesn't add that much. It's like 300 milliseconds tops. So.
But what if you had a country where Scrimba was banned? Would it know that?
I don't know. Is Scrimba banned in any country? I
heard that in Algeria they can't get on at the moment.
Huh, interesting.
Yeah, I imagine. Yeah, might be others. Caffeinated Pixels says on some of them you can add the device frame as well. Really?
Nice.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, so much. Talking about Toolbar is sometimes far from being accurate. That is true. Yeah. This is very much just giving you a gist of what it's going to look like.
Yeah.
The only real way to know is by manually testing it across as many devices as you can. But, if you don't have a BlackBerry Z30 to hand, you can get a good idea at least on here. Yeah?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
That's always fun. Just close that, and I shouldn't have, because the next thing I want to talk about is the little contrast tool, which is also available in DevTools. So you open up your DevTools and select anything.
Yeah.
When you hover, you will see in the accessibility section of the pop-up window, I guess you'd call it, it says contrast. And this is 1153, which is a good contrast. If it had a bad contrast, hopefully there's no examples on the Scrimba website. But this little green tick is either an orange triangle, or if it's really bad, it's a red triangle.
Oh, I see. Right. Oh,
there's no way for me to point to it on the screen, because if I do it, it moves.
Oh, yeah, it moves. It's in accessibility. Once you hover it in the second half of that box where it says accessibility. Yeah, right. Contrast.
Better explained. Yeah.
Neat.
So
it even says the role and stuff, and then the keyboard. Yeah, wow. It's actually just like a really good accessibility thing. So keyboard focusable, not.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
And if you're still not sure, finding the site here. I think it's that one. Yeah, it's this. You can check it out on contrastratio.com. So yeah, you put in your background and your color that you're going for. But if I decide actually I light green for my text color, it's going to go, and you're going to get a big red circle.
Mm.
Yeah. So that, to be extra sure that it's all good. So that's that one in there. Yeah. Cool. What have we got next? Shell Explainer.
Oh, yeah, that's...
Read us out, Michael.
Yeah, that's basically like... I guess because I worked as a backend developer for a little while, all my tips are somewhat API or, all the non-front-end related. Like,
that's good. Yeah.
but obviously, sometimes when you have to install React or you have to do something with Node or you're like, oh, I wonder what some SQL scripts or some other stuff does. So eventually you will have to go into backend and you'll have to deal with shell. And then you will see all of those different commands like netstat and all the different calls and stuff. So you basically can use manpage, which is short for manual, MAN, or you can go to Explain Shell website and then just type the command and then double check what it does. So for example, if you hit some problem and Stack Overflow tells you, run this shell script, don't do that just yet, okay? Copy it into Explain Shell, read what it does, and once you know that you roughly understand what it does, and it's not, trying to hijack your machine and not not letting Bitcoin mining onto your computer, then you can be like, okay, cool, I know what it's doing and I know how to use it. So, for example, the popular command, ls, so you can type to list your directories. So you have bash window on this?
Yeah.
There you are. So, for example, Leanne has a very basic shell script. So if you just zoom in on this one, there you go. So, for example, if we would just want to list all the directories, right? So we just type ls.
Luckily, there's no folder called cat pictures.
Yeah,
Oh.
but you can obviously type man ls, and that would give you the manual page. But as I said, for example, sometimes you can't just do that. You want to know the whole shell script, what it does. So you would just type in, paste it in a safe environment, and then look it up. And then it basically gives you all that information. So, for example, sometimes you can Google it up, and then with some extra flags, And then it gives you even the explanation of the flags that you used and by the position. So for example, I said list directories, long listing format, list all, and make it human readable. That's my favorite one. Make everything human readable. Because, why wouldn't I?
Totally. I've recently come across one. Kill all.
Yeah. There you go.
Kill processes by name.
Yeah.
That sounds very Terminator-like.
And you were using it to move, to move your dock from one screen to another.
Yeah, I have a really annoying problem. You've probably seen me do it on the live stream. My dock keeps moving from one screen to another, but it never moves back. And I finally had enough of it one day and researched. Well, really, I wanted to know how to prevent that from happening. Apparently, Apple being Apple, there is no way to prevent that. Right. So all you can do is run
kill the process.
sudo kill all doc. And then boom.
Oh, there you go. Actually, like for example, what's sudo?
What is sudo?
Yeah, there we go. Let's type it up.
Execute a command as another user.
Yeah.
Oh, who am I executing it as then?
Super user. So it's normally super user sudo super user do, and there you go.
And then is this?
No. Doc is process on your machine. So, but you can, for example, type. So if you type sudo kill all doc. Oh yeah, there you go. It basically tells you. So the first command, this is what it does. Here's the second command, this is what it does. So there you go. I think there is also the same one for JavaScript. I just remembered from Josh Komu. Sorry.
What? Sorry.
I think he was like, I think he is a Canadian developer. And there we go. Java. It's like explain JavaScript or something. I think explain JS. Let's try explain JavaScript. Operator lookup. So you can, for example, look up the different operators in JavaScript. So it's a very similar idea.
That's cool.
So if you're like, oh yeah, what is this? The double ampersand? Oh, I don't know. Or for example, I think someone asked us what's a question mark and the colon in JavaScript. So there you go. Here is a question mark. You can type that. So what's the question mark? And there you go. It tells you what it is and it even explains how to use it.
Awesome. The JS explainer, I'm going to call that.
Yeah.
Very nice. Well, that's it for our tips and tricks video. I really hope you found them helpful. Let us know in the comments if you have any you'd like to add or which were your favourites. And don't forget to look out for more videos and live streams coming to the Scrimba channel very soon. Happy coding!